Now, authorities here in France have seized dozens of firearms from French acting legend Alain Delon. A search of his property, which is over 100 kilometers south of Paris, was ordered after a court-appointed official sent to his home noticed a weapon and then alerted a judge. For more on this story, we can bring in France 24's Olivia Salazar-Winspear. Olivia, great to see you. What more do we know?
Hi there. Now, police officers searched Delon's home and found 72 weapons and over 3,000 rounds of ammunition there. That was because a judge who supervises the actor's legal guardianship flagged up a gun at his home earlier this month. The 88-year-old actor is actually mise sous tutelle here in France, which means that there is a judge tasked with managing his personal and financial matters because he's deemed incapable either physically or mentally of doing so. That was at the request of his sons. Now, for now, the authorities are investigating weapons in the categories A, B and C. That is A, military-grade weapons, i.e. assault rifles, B, semi-automatic weapons, often hunting weapons, and C, that's actually hunting or sports weapons, a shotgun.
Now, Alain Delon is an iconic figure, of course, here in France, but he hasn't been in the public eye for quite some time now, and he has a bit of a troubled personal life, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. There's a family feud going on, and he's also been in quite poor health. Now, Alain Delon, just to remind viewers, he was an absolute icon in the 60s and 70s, starred in Visconti films like The Leopard, Rocco and His Brothers, The Samurai, directed by Jean-Pierre Melville, often known as a tough leading man or a gangster role. But as I said, there was that family feud between his sons on one side and his daughter on the other. His sons accused the daughter, Anoushka, of trying to prevent him from dying at his home here in France and taking him to Switzerland for medical care. They say that that would be for tax reasons so that she could perhaps protect more of their potential inheritance.
Now, this news, of course, Olivia, raises the question of gun ownership here in France and how easy it could be to acquire these weapons.
Well, legally, it's actually very difficult to acquire a weapon here in France if you're a civilian. For example, if you want one of those hunting licenses, you have to undergo a psychological evaluation. You're automatically refused if you have a criminal record. And if you do get that license, it needs to be renewed every single year. Now, around 1 million people in France have that hunting license within that legal framework, which is actually one of the highest levels in Europe. And hunting accidents are on the rise. It's quite a controversial subject here in France. During the presidential election last time, some candidates were saying that there should be tighter regulations so people aren't shot accidentally in the countryside. It is believed that anywhere between 10 and 20 million illegal weapons are circulating at any time here in France. For example, you can buy a Kalashnikov on the black market for around 3,000 euros, and they have often been used in drug-related criminal incidents in Paris and Marseille, for example. So in terms of the penalties that Alain Delon could incur, possession of a gun without the correct registration, which is what he's being investigated for, carries a fine of 75,000 euros and up to 5 years in prison.